Hello, friends. It's a beautiful day here in Massachusetts, and you might hear in the background the sound of kids playing. I have the blessing of living right next to a big schoolyard, and the soundtrack of my home is the sound of kids in the playground. So the other day, I was talking to a friend, a colleague, who was bemoaning to me the problems they were having with a new school administrator in their school who has struggled to put together schedules. Tried 2 or 3 times, apparently, the administrator still couldn't get it right. And my colleague said, this is the problem when we do diversity hiring versus merit-based hiring. So that got me thinking a whole bunch. I want to work through this issue with you as I work through this with my colleague, that no one who becomes a school administrator, as a new administrator, is competent. Everyone has gaps and differences and learns on the job. We usually say it takes a teacher 3 to 5 years to reach mastery in the classroom. Same thing for a school administrator. It looks like the same sort of profession because it's in the same building, but the breadth and depth of responsibilities, the relentlessness of information, activities and crises, the fact that you have no free time built into your schedule at all, and the crazy things that emerge that you could have never predicted. The pace of the work, you can only get competent through work at the job. I wish that we could hire right off the bat lots of great administrators who jump right in and are mostly largely competent, but there are just not that many people around who can make that leap to what is essentially a different job in the same building. I think administrators in all businesses and schools, of what I know, are also burdened with this notion that if they are above you in the hierarchy, they must therefore be super competent and way better at everything than you are, or why are they above you in the hierarchy? Again, we just don't have enough superstars who can right off the bat establish that level of competence and trust in the staff. And it's a rare person and a rare school culture that allows administrators to admit how much they are learning on the job. Most of them are making mistakes and trying to save face and don't want to appear to be less than trustworthy, even though, of course, they are being that way because they're making mistakes, but they have their self-esteem, and they're like the rest of us. They want to do the best they can and not appear to be incompetent. In my work with school administrators, both new and veteran administrators, I work with them a lot about how to use the little bit of authority they have with grace, how to be humble, and how to apologize. And administrators of all color struggle with this. But and here's one of the key pieces, when a new administrator who is white demonstrates incompetence, people don't say, well, that's the problem with passing up people of color so that you can hire a white person who fits the mold. One time in one of my schools, we were talking about how important it is we work as a team, that we feel that people can fit in. But over time, we realized fitting in meant that they were like us. And people who express ideas, opinions, perspectives that would have helped us were seen as problematic, even if they presented them in a very even-handed way. Minority hires are burdened with this notion that they represent their entire cohort. In this case, and I'm thinking many cases, people of color are burdened with the perception among the staff that they are a minority hire. But who knows if that's true? So their incompetence becomes highlighted in a way that white folks who get hired don't have to deal with. One more piece on this. All the diversity, equity, and inclusion work we do in school to better serve families and students is not because people of color are the problem. Having more people of color on a staff in a setting in which we have increasing diversity in our clientele helps with the sustainability and the competence of a school. Not just because these people look different, but because they bring in experience and perspectives that another white hire may not be able to bring. In these cases, the white hire may actually be the person who comes in incompetent for what is a long-range need of the school. Now, do schools make mistakes in hiring new administrators and teachers? Of course we do, all the time. Because unless somebody comes along with a ton of experience and great references, My new hire is not going to be fully competent, whether they are an administrator or a teacher. And will some people in hiring committees not understand the value of hiring a person of color who may not be worth that value because of the competence we need in them making a schedule? Absolutely true. I think we need to look at everyone in this case with grace, to let everyone have their time to get up to competence, and to not make assumptions about what it means that there is diversity hiring happening. Thanks a lot, friends. Hope to see you down the road.